show you how to render an image to the screen. So we've got one image here, and it is my background. And I'm literally just gonna fill this image to the window. The window is just gonna be just this image, alright? This image is gonna fill the window. And so I have it in the My Game Images folder. I've just placed it in there. But I'm gonna go here into the Package Explorer, open up My Game Desktop or My Game Android, whatever one. I just prefer to use desktop. Open up Assets. You'll see this data. Just delete that. Okay. So you're gonna see this Assets folder. That's where all your images and sounds go. You can put in subfolders and organize them. So I'm just gonna put in a folder. So main menu. Say main menu. All right. And I can just pop that in there. And it's in there. And it'll also pop up in the Android assets as well. The Android and the desktop ones are synchronized. I think the HTML one builds off the source, the desktop, and the HTML one. I don't know. But anyways, we've got our image in there. So how are we going to render it? Alright, well, let's do this thing. I've actually I don't know why that's private. I really don't. But whatever. So first thing we need to create is a sprite batch. Call it batch. That's just basically going to process and render all of our sprites. And I'm going to go through what a sprite is in just a second. Now this batch equals new sprite batch. No promises. Alright. So now we got that. We're also going to have a texture. In fact, I think this is a good point. Good time now to point out that in variables, they're usually separated by underscore, either underscore or in like that. I don't know what to call that. So you can't space them out. You can't do that. That's not allowed. Anything else stupid that people might do? You can't separate them with a $sign. You can separate them with a $sign, but nobody does it. What are the stupid ways are there? Hyphen, no. It's usually underline or that, okay? Just, okay. And I got a texture and a sprite, so what's the difference? The texture is just the image, okay? Literally, the texture is just the image. The sprite is kind of like the game object version of it. It's kind of like the version you render. You can render a texture, but it's better to render a sprite because sprite batch, sprite. No, but genuinely it is better to just render a sprite. So now that we've got that out of the way, I want to clear up something else. LibGDX, what it likes to do is... Actually, I think this would be better off explained in Paint. You don't have to open Paint, I've just got it open for demonstration purposes, but let's march on. So, you've got your axes, right? You've got your Y, you've got your X. Excuse my dodgy handwriting. I'm writing with a mouse, just, yeah, bear with me. So you've got your X and Y axes, and normally, in mathematics, this would be 0, this would be, however, because we're designing for 1920 by 1080, essentially our X is 1920 by 1080. Essentially that's how it should work, right? Well, normally, in game programming, the Y is switched around. It's also seen in Illustrator and Photoshop. The Y is actually switched around. So if I just... Is it, you know what? Can I get a bigger one? Is that too much to ask? Fine. Really should have made a small row, but okay. I can get through this. I can fight through it. Where was I? Ah, yes. Why is this different? What? Okay. Alright, there we go. That's how it usually is, okay? We usually work from O at the top. O is usually the top left for game programmers. Any software engineers, O is usually the top. And whatever is the bottom. LibGDX actually uses it the normal mathematical way, with O at the bottom and whatever at the top. I don't like that, and it's not very handy to have it like that. Especially if you're using Illustrator and Photoshop to pinpoint your objects, I guess. You will see this coming into play soon. You will see why I like to have this flipped. O at the top and stuff. So to flip it, what we have to do is we actually have to set this to false. and you literally just change that. However, there's also another thing, you have to flip your sprites as well. So we'll do that in a minute. So for now, let's just set our texture. So texture equals new texture. Whoops. Texture equals new texture. gdx.files.internal. And then you literally get the folder. So what's the folder? It's a menu folder. Assets. No, it already knows it's looking in the assets. So it's the menu folder and the back image. So menu/back.png or .jpeg or .gif, whatever the hell. We need to make this static. No? Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We also need to. Yes, we also need to set the filter. Damn it! This is so. Ooh, how do I explain this? This is so when we enlarge it or whatnot, it's not messed up, okay? Or when we scale it, it's not messed up. We're not going to scale it. LibGDX is, but whatever. All right, now we got that down. Now for sprite back equals new sprite, and we're just going to pass in the texture. And sprite back dot flip. We're going to flip it y ways, so y is true, x is false. We're not going to flip it x ways, so that's false. We're going to flip it y ways, so that's true. 4 lines of code just for one image. That seems like quite a bit, and it is. So what people tend to do is, well, what I tend to do is, anyways, I like to make a new dedicated, not interface, a new class called assets, and literally I make a public static void load method. I put all my graphical loading shit in there. So good. Put all of it in there. The objects, the texture and sprite objects in there as well. However, I do have to make them public static. And there we go. And then we can just go to our game screen and call the load method. So, in fact, we can call them as soon as we create the game. That would be logical. Okay. So just delete anything we don't need. Now for the actual rendering. So let's scroll down to our render method, which is here. Above the camera update, we're going to go gdx.gl clear color. 1f, 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 1f. Just bear with me, you'll see what this is. gdx.gl clear, gl10.gl color buffer bit. And you're probably thinking, what the fuck have I just written? Well, okay. What this does is it clears the screen to, I believe, white. So this is the red. How much red do you want? And it ranges from O to 1F. How much green do you want? Ranges from O to 1F. And how much blue do you want? And that ranges from O to 1F. And this is how transparent you want it, and that ranges from O to 1F. So that should be fairly simple. What is this? This basically clears the canvas and allows you to draw on it, basically. So yeah, so let's try running this. We need the main method from the desktop. Alright, run that. And it indeed clears it to white. I have an email. Let's see what it says. Give it a second to come through as a notification. Thank you very much. So I'm actually going to make this grey because I like grey. We're not going to see the back anyways. But in your game we might see the back. Who knows? Maybe you want a consistent back for a consistent background color for a specific screen. Who knows? But I want this grey. Awesome. Alright, so we're actually getting colours on the screen as well. Whoa! Awesome. So below this camera update, you're going to do a batch.set projection matrix camera.combine. That basically resizes everything. That resizes the sprite batch to the actual screen size that we're running on. That basically scales everything. Batch.begin, batch.end, and here is where you write your rendering code. Alright, so I'm actually going to go batch.draw, and first it okay, we actually don't need that many parameters. So I'm going to draw assets. It wants a sprite or a texture or whatever to draw, so I'm going to give it the sprite back, and I'm going to draw O, and that's the top left. So it's going to start drawing from the top left. That's what we want. And there we go. I think we forgot to flip it. Okay, well that's meant to be true. True means true means Y down. My apologies. True means O at the top, and false means O at the bottom. That is my bad. But it does work, and we can just literally resize this to whatever we like. So I'm going to put it at 720p. Okay, my 720. Yeah, we run this one. Awesome. Feel free to go ahead and download that background. Yeah. Awesome. That's pretty much it for this tutorial. Feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already.